one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. This gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2 3. 1 2 3. Finish.
I can't even think about all of the shit I did to fit in. Past hard to watch like a fucking scary movie. I'm always happy to meet somebody that never knew me. Change for the better, hope niggas are living through me. I put it all on the wax so the people can know the true me. Hard to remain sane when the people you love the most is what's causing the damn pain. Y'all beef by the same thing, we ain't playing the same game. It's all for my fam name. She the girl of your fucking dreams, but to me she a plain Jane. You dipper and ball man, I duck when them calls came. This that higher level thinking. I'm the type to jump the fuck off of the shit before it's sinking. Not here for no new shit, my game slight to boost it. Ain't I don't have to prove shit. Rockstar fight the fool shit. My movie, this the new script. I want a life with no bullshit, nigga. I know on these news clips. That's why I dap him and move quick. Won't be around when they move switch. Won't be around when they lose clips. Won't be around for they lose lips. Might be the reason they pull shit. Yeah.
You don't understand what's happening here. I'm in God mode nowadays, son. I'm the tribal chief. I'm the head of your table. I'm the provider around here, huh? I'm the greatest of this generation, no questions asked. I'm the greatest universal champion of all time, which makes me the greatest to ever do this.
Yo! Welcome back to another episode of Wrestling with Saint. Yo, this about to be a dope episode. Yo, we doing Clash at the Castle, WWE Clash at the Castle reactions. I don't know why I thought this pay-per-view was at night. I don't know why I thought. I guess technically it was later at night over in Wales, England, but it wasn't over here. It was the afternoon. It started at 1 o'clock over here. It ended around like 4, I think. Great fucking show though. When I realized that the show was starting that early, I thought to myself, man, I hope this shit ain't like the Abu Dhabi shows, like, cause I hate those shows. And the Dubai shows, I think it's Abu Dhabi actually. Either way, I hate those shows. I can't remember if Abu Dhabi is the UFC thing and if Dubai is the one. Either way, Jeddah. They done went to Jeddah. All those different shows that have taken place in those different countries have been garbage to me. Because they do those shows like house shows. Like, it don't feel like... Sometimes even those shows feel like... Bro, they had a pay-per-view, I believe, the first one where everybody retained. And none of the matches was really special. I already don't like how they do women wrestlers over there. Either way, though, this didn't feel like that. I thought that this was going to be that. This was clearly a big-time pay-per-view. It was just they were in England. So I don't know why I had that feeling. That because they was leaving the States and that pay-per-view was on early, that it was going to feel like a... You know, like one of the lazy pay-per-views. It feel like it was not that. This was a 10 out of 10 pay-per-view for me. The only match of the night that I thought was gonna let me down was the Judgment Day. And boy, oh boy, that ended up being one of my favorite segments of the night for a certain reason. But yo, how's everybody doing today, man? How dope is the day, yo? What are we getting into today, yo? It's still sunlight out there. It was hot as hell earlier today, yo. I'm telling you, I can't wait till the wintertime come around. A lot of motherfuckers hate the wintertime. Not I. Not me. I'm trying to tell you, I love the wintertime. Bring the cold, bro. Dead ass. I hate snow. Like, I don't like it when it's snow because I just think snow fuck everything up. Like, it's very rare that I guess you can have accidents during... Well, not accidents. I guess it's very rare that when it's so hot outside that could really stop you. Even though it could, because people can have heat strokes and shit like that. Like, I don't think nothing naturally like snow coming on the ground when it's cold and stopping you from being able to do shit. You know what I'm saying? When the icing on the roads and things like that. So, that's neither here nor there, though. But it's just been hot as fuck outside today. But listen, we're here to talk about wrestling. I mean, WWE. Well, we is here to talk about wrestling. But we also here to talk about the Wales show. The Clash at the Castle. Yo, before I get into that though, Ronda Rousey last night on SmackDown, Ronda Rousey's suspension was lifted. I had no idea we were about to head into a Ronda Rousey, Adam Pearce type story. Like, that was crazy. Adam Pearce might have had his greatest moment last night when he went hard on Ronda, which I didn't agree with nothing he was saying, but that was like one of his hardest moments. Like, I like that he felt he got that all off his chest. Now, I don't know why he didn't say that to Sonya. I don't know why he didn't say that to anybody else who been bitching him around. But he chose to have that energy for Ronda. Confused by that. But nonetheless, great moment by Adam Pearce. Obviously, it was killed at the end, underhanded, when, you know, he got put in the armbar. But nonetheless, I like Pearce doing what he did last night. I like that. I'm not mad at that. But we're here to talk about Clash at the Castle. Now, so a couple things I was looking forward to at Clash. Obviously, we know this was booked as, you know, the Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre thing. But we'll get to that when we get to that. The show started off with Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka taking on Dakota Sky, Io Sky, and Bayley. Now, this was a great match. And at this point, I just have to believe that Bianca is like they designated opener. Like, they love Bianca opening up the show. Because this might be like, what, the third or fourth pay-per-view in a row that she done opened up the show. Her and Becky kept opening up the show. Now she opening up the show with Alexa Bliss and Asuka and Bayley. Like, Bianca is the party starter. She also can end the party for you. Like, she can shut shit down for you. But she is definitely the party starter at this point in time. So, I appreciate that. Now, I was interested to see where this... Oh, before I even get into the exact things that happened in the match. Asuka is unbelievable. Because it's at some point in time, Asuka started to realize her mannerisms mattered just as much as her in-ring. How she act outside the ring within the confines of WWE. Like, it's not like how she act in life, but just how her character is outside the ring. Like, if the only character development that can come from your character is when you wrestle, that's a problem. Because, yeah, people love when you have great matches, but after that match is over, and for one, you're not going to have a great match every time you're out there just because you're not going to be given that type of time. But if you can find ways to get the fans to connect with your character through other means, like how Asuka did during the pandemic and the Thunderdome run, then that's why you can be, you know, I like that. Because that to me is a wrestler in Asuka who was already a WWE superstar that was a top level superstar, right? Already done had great runs, been booked great and all that. But at some point in time, after that initial newness and whatever wear it off, and other women started to become just as great as Asuka, somewhere along the lines, Asuka wasn't what we thought she was. And I don't think it's that she wasn't what we thought she was. She got a little hidden in the background because other women had already started to take bigger steps in front of her. Once Asuka started getting the mannerisms right, yeah, Asuka's not the greatest on mic performer, but when she took that and flipped it into her thing, I don't understand shit Asuka be saying when she's speaking her native language. I enjoy the fuck out of that shit, though. And that type of shit get fans involved. That shit right there help build characters. Like, you don't have to just be great in the ring. It helps. And Asuka is phenomenal in the ring. But when you can add these extra part levels to your game, that matters. And I say that because Io Sky, I'm going to keep accidentally calling her Io Shirai, probably, because that's her original name when she was in NXT. But I love Io Sky. I like Dakota Sky too. Bianca's ring gear was fire. Bianca had fire ring gear. Alexa's ring gear was nice on this show. Dakota Sky had a fire ass black, gold, and white fit. I'm telling you. But this was a great match. But Io Sky already having a bunch of mannerisms. You know what I'm saying? Her already having life in her character. It's not just I'm great in the ring. You know, her showing different type of emotions, taunting. You know, I love that she got slapped for it twice tonight. But either way, that type of shit helps. That, like, I don't think people pay attention to it until you realize, oh, that type of shit matter. Roman talking shit throughout the matches. Roman taking a mic mid-match and telling you to acknowledge him. Like, that type of shit help build your characters. And so I love that Io already got that on her. Now, she worked with Bayley. And Bayley is... And I know how great Dakota and Io were on NXT. All these women was basically great on NXT. Except for... And this is always crazy to me. that Bianca did not touch the heights that Eos and Dakotas and the Baileys touched in NXT. I never understood that, because when Bianca came to the main roster, I had never seen her in NXT. Even though I had seen her in NXT, she just wasn't as big in NXT. Nowhere near as big in NXT as she is on the main roster. And that to me, it's just wild, really, bro, because it's like, y'all know how I feel about Bianca. To me, Bianca is the future GOAT. Like, we 2 years out from that Charlotte Bianca match. But how did Bianca not become NXT royalty? Do you remember Shayna's reign in NXT? I don't think anybody even beat Shayna for those titles. She just left. No, Asuka, the one who just retired. Asuka didn't lose her titles when she was. So many different women came from NXT having like dominant reigns. Bianca wasn't one. And look at how great she is on the main roster. I don't even think Charlotte had a real dominant reign in NXT. That's what's so funny. Charlotte and Bianca is the two women wrestlers who off rip, like when I saw them, I knew like, yo, these two motherfuckers are destined for greatness. Like when I first saw Charlotte in Raw and I started seeing her on a weekly basis, I was like, yo, she's going to change the women's wrestling division forever. And then I saw Bianca a couple years later and I was like, yo, she is going to pump life and revitalize this division and take it to new heights and become the next or even greater than Charlotte. Like, that's what I saw when I saw both of those two. That's why I hold them in such high regard. Like, I saw somebody the other day say, if WWE invested in somebody, that they would be as big as Charlotte. And I'm glad I can't remember who they was talking about. But I hate it when comments like that get made, because it kind of undermines Charlotte's greatness and the hard work that she put into it. And it's going to be that I know that's going to start happening in a couple months or in a year or so to Bianca. Because when you as great as a Bianca and Charlotte, and when you so very clearly have two superstars that are like next level, because Charlotte, when Charlotte's on the roster, WWE don't look at her like they look at a lot of other people. They know they have a fucking superstar athlete. They got the GOAT. I mean, it is what it is. I don't care how many people hate it. Charlotte is currently, in my opinion, the GOAT. Now, you might have your own GOAT. Trish Stratus, Lita, whoever. Charlotte, to me, no woman in WWE history, in wrestling history, in my opinion, has done for women's wrestling what Charlotte has done for women's wrestling. Nobody. To me, it's been a lot of good matches, a lot of great matches, a lot of 5-star matches, a lot of great characters, a lot of great personalities, a lot of great storylines. To me, nobody's done for women's wrestling, what Charlotte did for women's wrestling. And then I take it even further, because I don't think nobody's done with Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, if she ever come back, Bianca. So for me, when I look at Charlotte is the GOAT to me. But then I have my Mount Rushmore of women wrestlers. And I really do hate that Lita and Trish aren't on my Mount Rushmore, because I do feel like, you know, they started this all in a way when they were having those great matches. And I watched those. I grew up during that era. However, I look and I always feel bad for this, because I feel like I'm a traitor, because like, bro, you grew up watching Trish and them, bro. Why would they not be on your Mount Rushmore? And I hate that. But I just know greatness when I see it. Charlotte, Bianca, Sasha, Bayley, and Becky are the greatest women's wrestlers I have ever seen in my lifetime. Charlotte and Bianca is two of the greatest superstars I've ever seen in my lifetime, as is Becky. Sasha haven't hit that height yet, even though she has hit that height multiple times. I think, Bianca, Sasha done hit that height. All of them done hit that height. All of them have. But it's just, for me, Becky, Charlotte, and Bianca is just, Bayley gonna get there. Her run, like, she's still, they are already like Hall of Fame walk in with no questions asked great, but they keep showing you how even greater they can be. So they keep taking their characters to different levels, and that's what I love about these women so much, man. That's why I love women's wrestling. I really do. I hate it when it's not given the proper time that I think it should be. So before we even get into that match, I want to make a quick point real fast. I did not enjoy the women's tag team championship tournament. I thought a lot of those matches was rushed. None of them really was given too much time to perform. They done already put Raquel in an ugly match cycle of she basically doing John Cena type shit where it's a 5-move of doom type of package at this point. I hate that because she better than that. I just don't think many of the matches in that tournament was given the right proper amount of time and attention. And then at the end of it all, while I'm not mad that Raquel and Aaliyah won the way they did, man, it just kind of, a lot of things feel different if Dakota and Io win that match. And I have no clue why they didn't, because it really feel like that's a match that Vince would have, and people like to talk about Vince and Triple H. It feel like that's a match that Vince would have booked as a Io and a Dakota win. Like, you know what I'm saying? It felt like this was kind of like a swerve. It felt like the entire tournament we was headed towards them to win it. Not to mention, I think the tournament was already ridiculous in the fact that Io and Dakota didn't end up facing off against Alexa Bliss and Asuka in the final. Like, to me, that was ridiculous in itself, that it was basically one person carrying a team. Like, that to me was one of the problems with the division too. You can make Raquel look great without killing your entire women's division. Not to mention, you didn't really kill your women's division, but you did kill your women's tag team division. And this is because they refused to give these women time to grow together like they gave to Bayley and Sasha. Granted, Bayley and Sasha is two superstars that can stand on their own. They can pull in a crowd by themselves. They are already established. They've been through the mud. We know how great they are now. So they a little bit different. How you trust that you can give them time and they're going to make money happen and make gold. You don't do that with the other ones, but at some point in time you're going to have to, or we're going to keep going through this same cycle with these women tag team titles. And I hate that for that. I would even say, hell, I just think if you had to put them to, matter of fact, let's get into this match tonight because that's going to help me talk about this. So I'm not going to tell you exactly everything that happened in the match, but it was a great match. You have to go check it out. I think every match on the card was great. The end of this match, though, is what I liked, because Bianca ended up taking the pin, and Bayley was the one who pinned her, but I like how they beat her. See, Bianca done looked super strong the last couple weeks. Like, ever since Bianca won that title back off of Becky, Bianca's the only person in the ring against Bianca that's looked like they belong in the ring with Bianca is Becky. Like, nobody else who done had one-on-ones or fights with Bianca, none of them look like they are on her level right now. I don't even think Bayley done looked like she was on Bianca's level right now. Bianca is on another level right now. Her and Becky had magic with that feud. Plus, all her feuds have been magical. All her big feuds. So, Bianca on a whole nother level. And I don't even know if WWE realized how much of a bigger level she on than most of the people around her. Or I wonder to me, they have to realize how big she feel because of how she lost tonight. So Asuka and I love this. Asuka and Alexa were taken out of the match basically, because you see, I thought they were gonna try to book Alexa or Asuka to take the pin, but to me that would have been pointless, seeing as how Io and Dakota didn't win the tag team championships. So not only, and I was conflicted going into this match because I'm like, Bianca can take a certain type of loss and it'll be fine. I don't want her to be booked like Drew McIntyre where she can never lose matches because that'll hurt her booking long term. And she's never been booked like she can't lose. So that's, you know what I'm saying? And this natural progression of her feeling like a badass now in the ring against everybody, that was just a natural, organic build. So I don't want them to kill everything they done with her by just saying, oh yeah, but she never gonna lose Ultimate. Like, because that's not where she at yet. And so I came into this match saying I want Bianca to lose it, but I hope that she lose it like the way a strong champion should lose it. I also hope that Bayley pin her, because that's how you continue the story. And I did not want to see Io or Dakota get pinned if they lost. Bayley had to take the pin if they lost, because you cannot give Io and Dakota another L after they lost on Monday. Cannot happen. Now, and it's hard to start a feud up if they lose this match too. So I'm glad they ended up winning. But to win this match, they had to Bayley had to pull Bianca's hair back to hold her in place so that Dakota Kai could hit her finisher, and then Bayley hit her finisher. And then Io hit her beautiful ass moonsault finisher. And then they pinned Bianca for the 1, 2, 3. That is how you beat a champion. That is the equivalent of having to pile all that shit on Brock Lesnar. That's the equivalent of when a big time champion have to get help to win against another big time threat. This is that feel, because Bianca is too good to take one finisher and lose. Bianca is too good to take a Io Shirai finisher, or an Io Sky finisher, or just a Bayley finisher. Nobody in this match, not named Bianca, was big enough to just beat Bianca. And I'm glad that WWE realized that, and they did not hoe us and kill Bianca's feel. Because Bianca, nothing changed after this. Like, as far as how Bianca felt, Bianca still feel like the badass. She just got popped with that 1, 2, 3 as far as like a finisher. She got hit with 3 different finishers to get her put down. That's what had to happen. You put top tier talent down with top tier type finishes. I love that. Bayley getting the pin, her team getting the feel like, oh, we just beat Bianca Belair. That's exactly how you're supposed to book a champion if they lose. Not when they lose a title, because that's different. But when they lose a match that's not for the title, this is how you're supposed to lose. Because I agree with Brock Lesnar when he said champions shouldn't just be losing. When he was speaking on that, like, I agree, champions should not just be piling up L's just to be piling them up. That's ridiculous. That's how you kill the feel of a champion. And not only just the feel of a champion, that's how you kill the feel of a character that's done worked so hard to get to where she is at this point, to feel the way she feels. She get a big crowd reaction out of every single crowd. The crowd love her in every place she go to. Like, Bianca is just, this is how you book her to lose. And I loved it. I think that was a 10 out of 10 match. I loved everything about it. The end of that match was beautiful. Imagine how big of a win that would have felt like, however, if Io and Dakota had the titles. I just think it was a little bit of crooked booking, or a forgetful booking, or not thinking all the way ahead booking when it came to that Monday night match. And not to mention, the match on Monday night for those titles was not even as good a match as it should have been for 2 women tag team titles. Like, to me, they could have done that way better. Hell, you could have had that match tonight. This afternoon on the show. So that's how I feel about that at the end of the day. But hey, I enjoyed it either way. Now, I do want to point out real fast, I did not take notes tonight. So it is a great chance that I'm going to be hopping around from match to match. I might not go with the matches that happen, right after each other. I might even forget a match. I hope I don't, but I might. But the next match, I think, was the Sheamus taking on Gunther. And Gunther came out. Of course, Sheamus always come out with his, what's the name? The Brawling Brutes with Holland and Butch. But Gunther came out through the crowd with Imperium. Now, I can't think of the third Imperium member's name at the moment, but they looked like straight badasses. And the dude who do Gunther's entrance, man, shout out to him for that dedication to be able to do that, because that shit ain't easy to do that shit. But Gunther looked like an absolute fucking badass with all the black they was wearing, the long trench coat. That was a nice entrance. Shout out Gunther. This match was insane. So Madness kicked off anyways with the 2 groups attacking each other, and Sheamus and Gunther just standing in the middle of the match, in the middle of the ring, looking at each other while all the chaos was going on. A perfect example of the everything on fire and I'm fine, sitting here fine meme. But once this fight started, Jesus Christ, and that's exactly what this was. This was a fight. This wasn't no wrestling match. This was a fight. This might have been the best match of the night, to be honest with you. Like, dead ass. This probably was the best match of the night. And I don't want to look at the downside of this, but it is a downside to this match, and I'll get to it in a minute. But this was a beautifully done match. I don't know how Sheamus signed up to take this type of punishment, but one thing is for sure, Sheamus got some of the most brutal, physically challenging matches I've ever seen. And the motherfucker don't even be having weapons. The motherfuckers just like hitting each other so hard, bro. This man's chest looked like fucking mincemeat. Looked like a red pack of raw beef, bro. Like, this dude took so many chops to the chest tonight, bro. I've never seen, I can't remember the last time I seen a match where somebody took this many chops to the chest. I'm trying to think. They treated Sheamus' chest got treated like a jobber tonight, boy. Like, Jesus Christ. I couldn't have done it. I could not sign up to take that many chest slaps. It's just no way. As brutal as them shits were too. And you gotta think, Gunther getting some of your chin and your lip when he's slapping you too. And he's slapping hard as hell. Like, he not giving you no soft taps, bro. And people say wrestling fake, man. Go look at this motherfucker's chest. It's just no way. It's just no way. I don't know if them 10 beats of the Bowering, and it's more than 10 at certain points, but I don't know if that do justice for what was happening to Sheamus' chest tonight, because this motherfucker's chest got like a 10-minute course of getting the shit slapped out of it. I don't know how his chest held up like that. Y'all need relationships as strong as Sheamus' chest, his pecs, bro, because the fact that he didn't pop nothing, tear nothing, that's amazing. This dude took so many chops to the chest. Hey, before this match started, they showed Bret the Hitman Hart. You know, no disrespect to Bret, but he ain't the best there ever was, he ain't the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, in my opinion, personally. He not. He a hater, though. Every time I see Bret, his ass hating on something. I'm telling you, and I wish I didn't have to see these clips of him every time I see him. I wish I could just see a happy clip of this motherfucker, but every time I see clips of the motherfucker, he hating on somebody. Every time. Like, I don't get it. I ain't never seen nobody as hateful in the wrestling bit. Well, nope, let me take that back. I done seen a lot of other retired dudes that be hating. Ryback, a hating ass motherfucker. But yeah, bro, I just wish Bret would get that hate out his heart, man. But it's funny because Michael Cole said before this match, he said, Bret's gonna love this one. And I said, nah, actually, Bret probably gonna hate this one based off all the shit he talked on matches that ain't really pure wrestling matches. Like, you gotta be technical and do all that shit that Bret had. The type of matches Bret was having is the type of matches I used to hate. I hate wrestlers who had to go through their whole arsenal of technical wrestling moves. Like, bro, this 2022, bro. I'm not trying to see that shit. So his wrestling is what it was when at the time it was. Even his wrestling had to evolve at a certain point in time, because Stone Cold not going into the ring hitting you with a shit ton of technical wrestling moves. Like, stop it. But it was just funny that Michael Cole said that, like, oh, Bret gonna love this one, because I'm thinking about all the shit Bret done ever said about wrestling and the fighters and shit, and I'm thinking to myself, nah, he probably actually gonna hate this shit. He probably gonna hate it. He probably ain't gonna enjoy this at all, Mike. Dead ass. But, you know, I thoroughly enjoyed this match. I think the crowd enjoyed this match. Sheamus hit a fucking white no, not the white noise that he hit. Bro, what's the Celtic cross, bro? He hit that Celtic cross off the top rope. He slung Gunther, bro. Gunther a big man. And Sheamus got some distance on that toss. Like, this was a great match. Sheamus was right. Banger after 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 banger. This motherfucker Sheamus don't miss. Shout out Mello. This motherfucker Sheamus don't miss, man. Sheamus does not miss. That was a banger. And Gunther did ultimately end up winning. Neither of the two power bombs Gunther hit looked nice. Now, I'm actually glad I thought about this. I don't like Gunther's power bombs. I'm not really much of a power bomb fan unless it looked gruesome. Now, that I will say the only reason that I don't think it looked gruesome is because he's trying to do it to Sheamus so late in a match, so it didn't ever look really that vicious. But I never think Gunther's power bombs have looked that vicious. Like, when I look at somebody winning a match off of a power bomb, I'm instantly gonna think of Batista and the Batista bomb, which is by far the best sit down power bomb all time in my opinion. So it's very hard for me to look at anybody else hit that move and it not really look the way Batista's did, because to me Batista owned that move. Now, like, just think of how simple the Batista bomb was, but that was one of my favorite finishes growing up. Like, when Batista set you up for that, and that's what it was. Batista was so great at the theatrics when trying to hit you with that shit. Like, Batista bomb is to this day one of my favorite. Every time I get a wrestling game, I make my dude, when I create my character, I give him the Batista bomb and a spear. The Batista bomb fire, the spear is fire. I really do like the the Claymore and the Brogue kick. I like those type of finishers too. They used to just be called the bicycle kick. Drew's Claymore is sick because it's like he just throw his big ass foot at you, like flying through the air like one of them Power Rangers back in the day. But aside from that though, this was a great match. He hit Sheamus with a clothesline that looked like a clothesline from hell, and that's so funny because JBL, the dude who used to perform the clothesline from hell, he was on SmackDown, at least his limo was, and he was, because that's JBL's voice. I know JBL anytime I see it, and if they are having a JBL team up with Baron Corbin, sign me the fuck up. That is two God level heels. Now, if you a young buck and you ain't never got to watch John Bradshaw Layfield, JBL, oh boy, you missed out on some of the best heel wrestling in WWE history. JBL is one of the great. I think JBL not only one of the greatest heels, I think JBL is one of the greatest announcers, like commentators. JBL was phenomenal on commentator. Even though to this day I still remember the day when I stopped listening to WWE with sound for like 2 or 3 months because of how bad one night was on commentary, where it was like 4 motherfuckers talking at the same time about 4 different things, and I'm like, my mind couldn't even focus on the match. Like, that shit was in shambles. I'm like, oh, this is nonsense. I literally cut the TV off and was like, yo, what the fuck was that? I even tweeted about it, I think. But either way, we're off topic. We're hopping back to Sheamus and Gunther. Now, I think this match will happen again. I think this feud will continue. I think it should, at least for right now. I mean, I think you could get like 2-3 more matches out, not 3, 1 or 2 more matches out of this. I think would be great. I don't want to see Sheamus go through 2 more matches and him getting his chest beat in like that. That was very gruesome. But seeing it happen one time, it was enough for me. I don't like seeing people get their chest beat in like that. That shit is wild. Cause apologies for that. Cause I feel that shit, bro. I felt some of them chops when he slapped Sheamus off the top rope with a chop. I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? This is madness, bro. But that was also a great, the crowd. This was one of the best crowds I have ever seen while watching WWE. This reminded me of that Chicago crowd from earlier this year that was going crazy for Bobby Lashley. I still to this day don't know what it was about Bobby Lashley, and I love Bobby too. But that crowd in Chicago, they loved Bobby on another level. Much like the crowd tonight loved Seth Rollins on another level. Seth Rollins took on Matt Riddle tonight, and they chanted Seth's song well into the match. And I'm talking about they would stop, start back up, stop, start back up. Seth's momentum, anytime he had momentum, they started chanting it. And now this is interesting to me because I'm pretty sure Riddle was supposed to be the dude that was getting cheered. Like, I'm pretty sure they wanted the crowd to cheer for Riddle. And the crowd didn't boo Riddle as much as they didn't give him the reaction that they gave Seth. I think out of all the reactions tonight, obviously Seth probably had the biggest one, but the biggest interaction as far as like them keep singing his song. Tonight was the most lopsided. I mean, out of all the matches on the card, the most lopsided as far as fan affair, it had to be this one, because the fans was fully behind Seth Rollins. Like, this crowd wanted Seth to win, point blank. I'm pretty sure if he had a loss, they would have still been singing his song. Like, and not to mention, Seth didn't lose. That's what's crazy. It's no way you thought after all these months of this going on, Seth was about to win this match. And he did. Now, see, that's great booking. I'm going to tell you why. Seth done lost every fucking feud he done been in the last couple feuds. The man ain't won one feud. Now, I don't know if this feud with him and Riddle is over. But I do know, if it's not, he'll probably end up losing this one too. The beauty in the fact that Seth done lost his last couple feuds and still feel like one of the biggest stars in WWE just goes to show you it's all about attitude. Seth could act like, oh, woe is me, I'm always losing these feuds now, blah blah blah, or he could do exactly what he's doing right now and just keep fucking killing it. And him and Riddle also had, every match on the card to me was good. Like, I don't think it was a single match on the card that was a bad match. I really don't. In the Seth Rollins and like, go watch that Seth and Riddle match. The crowd, bro. The crowd. Like, I tweeted it multiple times. This crowd was wild tonight. They woke up this morning, whatever time that was over there, with the intentions of cheering and interacting throughout the entirety of the show tonight. And I truly appreciate them for that, because I hate it when WWE go to certain cities, and they give them minimal reactions, especially on pay-per-views, not realizing that fans' interactions and noise is as big a part of the show as anything else. Like, I don't understand why fans don't realize that sometimes, but they understood that at the Castle, so I appreciate the fans at the Castle for that. But this Seth, what he wore to the ring, bro. This dude Seth is a menace. Seth is a menace. If you didn't watch Monday night, they did the John Jones and Daniel Cormier type thing. If you remember back to when John Jones and Daniel Cormier was setting up for their first fight, and they had did an interview on ESPN, and then they thought that the cameras had stopped rolling, and they started talking real crazy to each other, like shit you can't show on you can go watch the shit on YouTube. Well, WWE finally decided, you know what, we can recreate that, and they recreated that moment. Now it's funny to me that they figured this was the moment to create this with Riddle and Seth. Like, that moment with Jones and with Bones and Cormier happened so long ago. You would have thought they would have created that moment with somebody else. But hey, shout out to them for eventually getting back to it. This motherfucker Seth, when the thing, he said, Riddle, you listening? You still there? He said, yeah, I'm still there, bro. What's up? Hey, you talking about my wife? You talking about, hey, how's your family? Oh yeah, you ain't got one, cause your wife fucking left you. I say, yo, this dude Seth a menace. This motherfucker on demon timing, dog. Like, dead ass. Like, my only thing in that whole thing, Riddle, you can't do all that extra huffing and puffing. I think Riddle, you can't oversell it, bro. Like, you kind of was overdoing it with the huffing and puffing shit that you was doing. Like, you was overselling it. You can't oversell that hard, my boy. But other than that, unbelievable segment. And it was an unbelievable match. I am shocked, like big time shocked that Seth won this match. I expected Riddle to win it. Riddle did not. So we'll see what happened next. The next match that we're going to talk about is, because I really don't remember the order of these matches at this point. I just remember the first one and the last one as far as order. The next match we had on the card, or the next one I'm talking about at least, Judgment Day taking on the Mysterios. Now, I was heavily invested in this match for a multitude of reasons. So I said before this match, bro, if Dom does not turn heel in this match and walk off with Rhea, then he ain't never gonna turn heel and be a man in his life, because it's done happened for too long to continue to miss these type of opportunities. It just done happened far too long. So as the match get going, obviously it's Edge and Ray taking on the Judgment Day. And I say to myself, because Edge come down to the ring with a mask on, I say to myself, Dom, he literally disrespecting you, my boy. He coming down to the ring as if he is second luchador, my boy. You gonna really take this? And your Poppy done turned you into a cheerleader. He benched you for Edge and told you he needed Edge over you, dog. He told you wasn't good enough, my boy. He told you that you was not good enough. I couldn't believe it. And Dom was sitting there taking it. And shout out to the WWE for swerving the fuck out of me, because it was a good match. I liked the ending of the match. That was a vicious spear by Edge onto who did he pin? Was it Finn? Nah, I don't think it was Finn. I think he pinned Priest. Either way, whoever he hit that spear on, that shit was a fire ass spear. I actually think it was Finn. But this happened because Dom kept interfering. Finn was about to hit the coup de grace, which I still think he need to find a new finisher. See, Finn got the best sling blade, bro. Him and Seth got beautiful sling blades, but I'm telling you, bro, Finn is the only person who can perform a sling blade, and I can feel like, yo, he could pick up a 1, 2, 3 after that shit. Soon as he hit the sling blade, I'm in a whole new atmosphere. That's like a kick, a jolt of energy for me. It's just like when Bianca hit the KOD, when Baron Corbin hit Deep Six, or the End of Days. Certain moves, when they are performed at such a high elite level consistently, it just gives me a shot of energy when I see him perform. You know what I'm saying? So the coup de grace was about to be performed, but Dom got up on the apron and he distracted the ref. And that allowed Edge to get out of that. Rhea came over and knocked the shit out of Dom. But clearly it did not last too long, because towards the end of this match, once again, Finn ran against the ropes and Dom tripped him up. And then he got hit with a spear on the other end for the 1, 2, 3. After the match, Dom gets in the ring to celebrate with Edge and Mysterio. But these two jackasses are celebrating together rather than celebrating with the dude who just helped y'all pick up that win. Like, they was purpose, bro. They had to be doing that shit on purpose, being hella shiesty to my guy Dom. And I didn't appreciate it. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, Dom, are you serious right now, my boy? Are you really about to let them do this to you, bro? Are you really gonna be daddy's little bitch the rest of your life, bro? Like, this is a moment for you to finally grow up, my boy. Are you really going to miss out on that opportunity? And as soon as the thought leave my head, he punted this motherfucker Edge in the nuts, my boy. And the elation that left out of my body, I realized something. I have been highly invested in Liv Morgan and Dominique Mysterio over the last couple. I wanted to call him Dom, but I was about to say Dom Mysterio, so I fucked. Either way, I've been hella invested in those two, and didn't really realize how invested I was in either one of them until my investment started to pay off. I guess that's the word for it. But I am so invested in Dom, I realized, because the elation that came out of me once Dom finally turned on this motherfucker. He should have turned on Ray before. He finally turned on Ray now. And it all makes sense. And I don't give a damn if he joined Judgment Day or not. I truly believe that the play should be him and Rhea Ripley. Dom and Rhea Ripley would be a phenomenal faction. I love Finn Balor, and Finn is actually starting to put it all together too, because his mannerisms in this match were phenomenal. Finn Balor is that guy. So actually, I don't want them to get Finn out of this group. I don't even want them to break the Judgment Day up. I like this. What I want is for Finn Balor and Damian Priest to be booked as a legitimate tag team within this stable. That's what I want. And I want them to push Dom to become a singles champion. And I want them to push Rhea to become the women's champion. It's all there. They do not have to break this faction up. They do not have to turn them face. Just like New Day and the Usos, give these guys time, and this will be beautiful. Dom and Rhea have something. They have to go into an on-screen relationship where Rhea can be the dominant one at first, but I want Rhea to teach Dom how to become dominant, because as soon as Dom got the look, that's for one. Dom got a fire-ass mullet. He need to finish up the sleeve on his two arms. I don't like his ring gear a lot of times, but I do think his ring gear actually looked nice. But his fit that he had on the night was fire. I hate his ring gear, as a matter of fact. He got to change up the ring gear. I like his fit he had on the night, basically like his street clothes. He got to get into the weight room, because he do need to put on some muscle and get. I don't even care if he get abs. He can do the Drew, just get big chest muscles and no abs. It don't matter. Roman ain't walking around abbed up. I just want him to get in a little bit better shape, get a little bit bigger, and as soon as that happens, you can go to the moon with this faction. I do not want them to break the Judgment Day up. I don't have a lot of faith they'll keep the Judgment Day around for too long, but I hope they do, because the Judgment Day can now be a legitimate faction. And this is what's so crazy to me. all that they have done for the Judgment Day and the because I want to talk about something real fast. The difference between how I feel about the Judgment Day and how I feel when it comes to the Viking Raiders. The Judgment Day is a new faction. So while it was times in this faction where it didn't feel like they was properly doing what they should have been doing to build this team up properly, eventually they got there. They starting to figure out how to book this team. And that's okay to take this type of extra time and extended time because this is a new faction that you're trying to invest in and put over. The Viking Raiders are not a new faction. They've been trying to rerun this thing back and figure this shit out for like years now with the Viking Raiders. And maybe that to me is why it don't hit that the Viking Raiders keep beating the New Day, because I done seen the New Day lose to put other teams over so many times, and I've seen those teams go nowhere aside from the Usos. I saw somebody on Twitter tonight ask, was the Usos a Hall of Fame team? What kind of question is that? Like, what? Is they a, what? Like, dog, it's very hard for me at this point to take anybody serious who asks type questions like that. The New Day and the Usos is the greatest tag teams to ever walk, in my opinion, in the WWE. And you can't make a case that they not in the top 5 if you don't think they the greatest of all time. The accomplishments, the longevity have outlasted just about every fucking tag team there is except for each other. That's amazing. So, for me, that's my thing when it comes to the Viking Raiders. Like, that's why I feel the way I feel about them versus how I still have a shit ton of hope for the Judgment Day. Especially because you can book Dane Priest and Finn as two dominant, like, to get to the, I was about to say two dominant champions, but you can just build them up to get to that point where they feel like dominant enough to beat the Usos. That's a team that should have been feuding with the New Day. That type of feud would help put them over for sure, because they still to this point haven't even had, they lost. Like the Judgment Day just lost tonight. That's bad booking. The only thing that saved them was Dom's heel turn. Now, I imagine the booking is about to change completely if Dom about to join the Judgment Day, but it was no indication he was joining the Judgment Day. Like, they laughed and all that type of shit when it happened, but Dom didn't walk out with the Judgment Day. So I don't know for a fact if Dom is about to join Judgment Day. However, if he don't join Judgment Day, what the fucking point was them take? Like, I just don't understand the L if he don't judge him. But if he do join them, that's just wonderful. And I don't know how you missed this opportunity to create an on-screen relationship between Dom and Rhea. That shit writes itself. Like, Rhea and Dom could legitimately go on to be two of the top tier talents in WWE by putting them together and letting them grow together, like you did with Triple H and Stephanie. Now, I don't know if they turn into actual husband and wife or no shit like that, but what I do know is they can make each other greater. I'm not thinking about the in real life relationship. I'm just thinking about on-screen relationship, how these two could turn each other into two future GOATs. Because I can imagine already Dom constantly interfering in Rhea Ripley matches, him becoming obsessed with Rhea Ripley. I can see Rhea finally becoming obsessed with Dom and then starting off as like a leadership role. Oh, that's my pet. And then she actually starting to love Dom and actually having his back and shit like that. And eventually that can end up breaking up the team because Rhea and Dom look out for each other rather than looking out for Finn and whatnot. But let that get to that point, because you have magic right now with Dom. And that's why I never understood why they kept Dom locked up in this stable with Ray so much. But I appreciate when you finally get it, you get it right. Because Dom done changed his look. Like I said, I love the look that Dom got. Now let's get my guy into the gym. Let's get some muscles on him. Let's bulk him up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Get him to like 215, 220. Have him looking real nice. Hell, he can even get bigger than that. But just have him looking real nice. Get him better on the microphone, which is gonna happen when he in this feud with when he in this faction, which I'm hoping that he is a part of the Judgment Day now. And remember, I kept saying Judgment Day's purpose should be to build Rhea. The Judgment Day's purpose is all changed now. It should be to build all four of them, because now you can do something with all four. Dom can be a dude who fight for a U.S. title, Intercontinental Championship. Rhea can be fighting for the Women's Championship, whether it be on Raw or SmackDown. And Finn and Dane can be fighting for the Tag Team Championship. So This shit writes itself. I love the match. I like the ending. I especially love Dom finally turning heel on his pops. He clotheslined that motherfucker. Gave his pops a mean ass clothesline. I saw somebody tweet, yo, Dom had a nice little clothesline right there. What the fuck he do? Why he ain't never pulled that shit out before? That's a good question. Dom, and that's probably why I was thinking what I was thinking just now, that they can tweak his moveset a little bit so where he don't have to exactly be his pops. He ain't got to do all that jumping off the top ropes and shit like that. Motherfucker got a mean ass clothesline. Dom could be a AJ Styles type of wrestler in my opinion, where we know he got aerial moves, but that's not his entire offense. But when he pull him out, it's some fire. And I also hope he don't get the 619 as his finisher, but I do hope one day he beat his dad with the 619. It was motherfuckers tweeting, that's Raymond, that's Eddie Guerrero's son. I'm just happy that Dom finally turned heel, bro. I've been tired of him in the storyline they had him in. If Dom gonna become what we think he can be and what they think he can be, you gotta get him out from under Rey Mysterio at some point in time. Even if that means throwing him right under somebody else. It can't not be under his dad no more, because his dad gonna make sure he swim. Even to a fault, it feel like at times. These other guys, hey, Dom's not my son. I want him to succeed too, but I want to be successful too. So if we can't get this thing done together, then we both gonna look stupid. And I ain't gonna be happy and coddle you like your dad, because your dad's a Hall of Famer. Your dad's a legend. I ain't your dad. So I love this for Dom. I think Dom's gonna knock this out the park. And I pray to God that they don't fuck up this Judgment Day thing, especially this Rhea and Dom. The world has been begging for Rhea and Dom. I wasn't even one of the people who actually cared to see that at first. But the more and more I started to pay attention to it, I'm like, man, if Dom turned heel, him and Rhea could really do something. And now it's happened, so let's make it happen. Now, the last two matches of the night, the championship matches, the big dog matches. So we had Liv Morgan. So I tweeted before this pay-per-view went off, I said, yo, Liv Morgan is about to have her best performance to date as a champion. Book it. Okay, I was wrong. Well, actually, I wasn't. But it wasn't what I wanted. But it wasn't because of Liv. Liv, you did a fucking job. Good job. This wasn't because of Liv. This because of how they just booked her in this match. They booked Liv to continue to favor this fucking injury. Bro, fuck that injury, bro. Fuck her arm, bro. We need Liv to get a dominant championship win. Eventually, y'all gonna book Ronda to come take that title off of her. Or y'all gonna have Charlotte come back and take that title. And y'all know I love Charlotte. I don't want to see Liv lose this championship before she actually start. Bro, when Liv loses this title, she should still feel like a champion. If Liv loses this title anytime soon, it's gonna feel like it was a waste, because she don't feel like a champion yet. But you can clearly see she is getting there. She needs a dominant win over somebody. She need a feud where she can dominate somebody. This was the perfect match to have her win via submission over Shayna. She told Shayna, you a bootleg Ronda Rousey. You're not gonna beat me. I'm gonna take your arm. Watch me. Like, bro, why are we protecting Shayna? I love Shayna. Mind you, Shayna and both of them had some fire ass fits. Like, Shayna's fit dead ass was fire, and as was Liv Morgan's. However, why are we protecting Shayna to where Shayna cannot take a submission loss to Liv Morgan? Like, ain't we trying to get Liv over? Ain't we trying to push Liv as a dominant, as a strong champion at least? Liv should have got a win right there with a submission. Now, I understand some people saying, oh, that's unrealistic, blah, blah, blah. It's really not. This is wrestling. Stop it. So, I wish that Liv had picked up a win right there via submission, because it felt like a lot of this match was her trying to fight off the attack on her arm and whatnot. And I hate that, because that's just booking her like an underdog again. The crowd don't want to cheer for her underdog and Liv right now. They done made that very clear. If you didn't see SmackDown last night, Liv Morgan as the underdog is not going to move the needle against Ronda Rousey. The way they cheering for Ronda Rousey right now, bruh, they went fucking nuts for Ronda last night. It's no way you can book Ronda against an underdog type of Liv, because they are going to eat Liv alive. It's just no way. And I understand y'all leaning into Ronda being the badass babyface. They're going to boo Liv if you put her in like this as an underdog again. You don't have to do that. Liv Morgan has already done started talking better. on the mic. She she's still got work to do in the ring, but like I said before, they haven't really put her in a match with nobody who is consistently great in the ring, who could give her a great match and have her just follow my lead, Liv, and I'm gonna take us there. You know what I'm saying? She haven't had a Charlotte, a Sasha if she ever come back, a Bayley, a Bianca. She had Bianca once, but that wasn't even a feud. That was a quick one-off. She haven't been in there with a Becky or somebody who can legitimately carry the dance. And an interesting thing, I was looking at the snippets of the Becky Lynch thing where Becky was like, I'm not a naturally gifted athlete. That makes so much sense, and it make me so much happier for Becky, because looking at Becky wrestle all these years, I could tell she was not a natural athlete or whatever you want to call it, as far as she didn't look like what Charlotte, Bianca, Sasha, and other people look like in the ring to me. I was always behind on Becky in the ring because I was always like, this is not really like, I don't really think she put on good matches for so long. But her constant evolution in the ring, out the ring, her body, her character, her gear, Becky Lynch is a living fucking legend. Shout out to the man, to big time Bex. I love Becky, bro. But Becky, seeing that thing where she was like, I'm not the, I was never the most gifted athlete. I actually had to work, train for this. Like, I see that. Like, I can, like, a lot of people say shit like that. Like, if Bianca came onto a screen and was like, bro, I was never the most gifted athlete. Bianca, you clearly were one of the greatest athletes. I can look at Becky Lynch and see exactly what she was saying when she say, I was never the greatest athlete or a natural athlete. I can legitimately see that in her early matches, and I can see the hard work and the dedication she put into becoming great at this shit. Like, what a fucking goat, bro. I love Becky. But in this match, but like I was saying, if Liv can get the opportunity to have feuds with, because I really don't want her to start another Ronda Rousey feud right now, because I don't think Ronda can do for her. Because every time Ronda's in a ring with a, Ronda don't carry the match. Like, she ain't at the point where she can carry a match. Like, she got to be in there with the Charlottes and the Beckys and the same women I just named. I think Liv, who is further along in the ring than a Ronda, if you start to put her in the in matches and feuds with the Charlotte Flairs, the Sashas, if she ever come back, the Baileys, the Biancas, the Beckys, the Asukas, she is going to naturally just get better off of fighting those type and wrestling with those type of level of competitors on a regular basis. So I don't really think she done had that opportunity. Like, all the fine tuning of her in-ring competition is going to have to happen behind the scenes and, just happen with women who are good, but they not on the level of those women I was just naming as far as in the ring. And so I like what Liv and Shayna did tonight. It was a great match. I like the ending, hitting her with a code breaker, then the Oblivion. And the Oblivion looked way cleaner tonight than it usually do. I like all that. Her code breaker can look even better. Her code breaker can look better. And I'm glad they just straight up called it the code breaker. Motherfucker Jericho ain't got no rights to no shit over here. But that can look even better, Liv. You can make that shit look even more crispy. But I like the improvements. Like I told you, I'm very much invested in Liv right now. I like her improvements. I love the improvements she done made. But I don't think that this type of level of competition, and it's not that Shayna is not great, but Shayna not in the ring with those other women I just named are. And so the drawback, though, is while I do want to see her in that match, in those type of matches with those type of women, because I know how much better that can make Liv, she got to get a feud with somebody who she can dominate. I don't give a damn if that's a Natalya. I don't give a damn if it's Aaliyah. If it's, I don't care who it is. If it's Xia Li. I don't care. She need a feud where she can dominate somebody. And, like, have a dominant win before she head into a match where she could, or a feud where she could possibly lose to Ronda. Because I just know that's eventually coming back around. And then the main event of the night. I hope I didn't forget no matches. I don't think I did. But the main event of the night, Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the GOAT, God in the flesh, took on Drew McIntyre. Now, y'all know how I feel about Drew. The crowd loved him, though. This was his home, and they gave Roman a heel reaction. This is like the first crowd that actually gave Roman a legitimate heel reaction, where they actually was there to boo Roman. You know what I'm saying? There was still people there cheering him, but for the most part, this wasn't one of them crowds that wanted to acknowledge Roman Reigns. They had to acknowledge him. This wasn't one of them crowds that was waiting all night for him to tell them to acknowledge him so they could go nuts. So this was a good match. I mean, Roman Reigns is not going to have a bad match. Neither is Drew. Both of these dudes are phenomenal in-ring competitors. They are not going to put on a bad match with anybody else, let alone each other. It's just never going to happen. What I want to talk about in this match, because you can pretty much picture everything that happened in this match. It was a Drew McIntyre match. I don't want to say it was a Roman Reigns match, because Roman Reigns can put on any type of match based off of who you put him against. Drew McIntyre matches pretty much look the same to me. And this was much of that. But the difference, what I want to talk about is, okay, so Drew ended up losing, but this is what I want to talk about more so than the match. The reason I'm happy Drew lost this match and did not win it, because they did a lot to make me think Drew was going to take this dub. I mean, he hit he got 2 spears, jumped out of both of them, got out of a guillotine, lasted multiple Superman punches. So I'm thinking to myself, oh yeah, they definitely finna have this motherfucker Drew go over. When in actuality, Roman Reigns is just the greatest final boss that I've ever seen in my lifetime. Like, this motherfucker is on another level, bro. Like, it's so funny when you think about how he ended up winning this fucking match, bro. But my thing with Drew is, the reason I love the Roman is who he is because it means that as long as Roman is who he is, Drew McIntyre will never be him. Unless they move him over to Raw and find a way to split them titles up, Drew McIntyre will always be the biggest second place loser I've ever seen in my lifetime. Don't take that serious. I'm in character. But Drew McIntyre is not him. He's not that guy. I'm sorry. And as long as Roman Reigns is here, it's very obvious that he's not that guy. And so I hate it for you, but it is what it is. Roman Reigns is that guy. Drew does not give me that champion feel that a Roman give me. And it's not even so much as Drew don't feel like a champion as much as Roman Reigns done took that to a different level of, it's more than just feeling like a champion. How it felt to be, the price, yesterday's price is not today's price. How much it cost to be the man yesterday is not the same that it cost to be the man today. How it felt to be a champion yesterday is not how it feel to be a champion today. So the things that I thought made you feel like a champion before, Roman done took that to a different level. How I used to feel about it is different now because somebody came along and raised the bar. That's how this shit go. Shout out Sheamus and Cesaro. When Roman Reigns, before he became this champion and on this legendary run he on, I felt a certain type of way about what it took to be a champion because of, at the time, what was presented to me. That's what I thought was acceptable. Now, after seeing a Bianca Belair, after seeing a Becky Lynch, after seeing Roman Reigns, after seeing Charlotte in these last couple title reigns that they had, I no longer think what Drew is good enough to be a champion. I see Charlotte raise her game every time you put her in the ring with Ronda Rousey. So it's no different to me than when I see Drew raise his game every time he step into the ring with Roman Reigns. The difference. Drew McIntyre also feels, big with his same duo, Sheamus. But Charlotte feel big with everybody. As do Becky. As do Bianca. I don't feel the same. Now, it is cynics out there. I guess I do have to mention this. It is just people out there who don't like Charlotte. So even though it makes sense for Charlotte to win matches, they still want her to lose. I'm not talking to that bozo ass crowd because that's just a ridiculous crowd to me. That's the same crowd that keeps saying they bored with Roman being the champion. Like, you literally are watching the product just so you can see the title play hopscotch or hot potato in people's hands. I don't think people understood, and then maybe this is the WWE's fault. When you don't properly build a legitimate champion who feel like a champion, then fans bitch like this because they so used to you playing hopscotch with the title or having champions that don't feel dominant enough to carry a title this long. Then you get the fans that bitch. I don't bitch because I like this. For one, I'm going to always try to evolve with the business. Because, listen, you either evolve or perish. It's just whatever the evolution phrase was. We're hitting a lot of callbacks tonight. But as far as I go, I don't feel like as long as I evolve with the business or the concept they trying to run with, even if it don't, because I'm always say if something don't make sense. But for the most part, I knew they were trying to, but I knew from the moment Roman Reigns came back, he wasn't losing that title no time soon. Halfway through his reign, that's when I knew he was about to do legendary type shit. Because why build up a dude to feel this legit just to take the title off of him? When Roman Reigns lose that title, it will feel like Undertaker losing at WrestleMania. When Roman Reigns lose that title, it will feel like Michael Jordan lost the finals. Oh, he didn't. So imagine that feeling if you could ever go back and talk about Jordan. That's how it's going to feel when this motherfucker Roman lose. As it should. You know how long it's been since WWE could say they had a legitimate dominant champion that was not just big in the ring, that was big on all different type of media outlets. Everybody knows who Roman Reigns is. He has transcended the business now. Like, he is big time. He is what Stone Cold, The Rock, all those other dudes were to the business. And to me, to an extent, he's bigger. He feel bigger. He not big in the terms of how big The Rock and Stone Cold are in real life. I'm talking about the characters. As far as like the characters, he feels more dominant than those dudes did. He feel like a bigger threat than those dudes did. And I grew up through both of those eras also, so don't feed me no bullshit. Roman Reigns, I'm not saying he greater than, I am, he the GOAT. But what they have done with Roman Reigns, you can't just have him lose. When he lose, it's going to be a big time, it's going to feel big. Like, because I'm hearing people say, oh, Cody Rhodes the dude who going to beat Roman Reigns. No, he's fucking not. If you truly are so separated from the WWE product that you think Cody Rhodes is about to come into the WWE and beat Roman Reigns, you are drunk. Now, I don't know if you think that just because Triple H done took over. But I saw people saying that shit when Vince was still over everything. If y'all truly believe that a dude who left, went to AEW or created AEW, is coming back to beat Roman Reigns, a WWE product, a WWE baby, that's all he ever knew is the WWE. Started in a developmental back in Florida when it was FCW. If you think that they're going to build up that type of character who they invested this many years into, who done been loyal to the soil with them, if you really believe that they're going to have Cody Rhodes beat him, you have not been watching WWE over the last couple years. It's just no fucking way. Drew McIntyre is going to beat him before Cody Rhodes beats. Cody Rhodes ain't beating Roman Reigns for them titles. I don't know why that is actually a thought that y'all have, but that is insane that y'all actually believe that. Because that makes no sense to me. Cody Rhodes did not go to AEW to come back to beat Roman Reigns for them titles. I'm sorry. He gonna have good matches with Roman for those titles. Much like Daniel Bryan, you're gonna have a thought that, oh, he about to win. He's not beating Roman. My money to see who beat Roman, and it's not no guarantee that these two, because where I'm at right now, he can retire the champion for all I care, and you have to forcibly create new championships. I would love that storyline based off of how a strong Roman done been booked and how great he look. Because all dudes can be booked strong. All women can be booked strong. Not everybody can sell it, though. Not everybody can grow into it. Not everybody can do what Roman Reigns, the bloodline, have done. Point blank, period. How Roman won this match tonight? So Theory came out to cash in, but when he was going in to cash in over at that ring thing, Tyson Fury knocked his ass out. Tyson Fury was in the crowd. I love Theory. I was ecstatic when Tyson Fury knocked his ass out. Because I'm like, there's no way he about to fuck this match up, bro. Because I thought Drew was about to win this. Enough people had talked me into believing that Drew was going to win this. My heart actually dropped when he popped that Claymore mid-ring and I thought it was a 1-2-3. But then he hit that second Claymore after all the shenanigans. And I'm thinking to myself, it's just no way this man about to get this title off of my guy. And as soon as the hand about to go down for 3, somebody pulled a referee out the ring. So I knew who it was as soon as they panned over to him, because I watch him. I done seen him on NXT multiple times, and I done seen him tweet on Twitter about the bloodline, and I know who he is, and I knew who he was as soon as I saw a peek of his face. So Jimmy and Jey Uso they wasn't at the show tonight because of the beatdown they had on Friday night. Neither was Sammy. So Roman was and Paul Heyman had got put to that table. Paul, bro, bro, what are you doing? It's no way you hurt this long, my guy. Heal up and come back, man. Damn. Starting to feel like you taking a vacation, my boy. But so you're thinking to yourself, man, who is coming out to help Roman? Is Karrion Kross gonna be? Because Karrion threw a bottle from the crowd. You thinking to yourself, is Karrion Kross about to be the dude to come and help Roman? Like, what's gonna happen? Who's gonna help Roman? Like, is Roman gonna have help, or is they finna really let Drew take a clean L again to Roman? Because I didn't think they was gonna let Drew take a clean L. For some reason, they just don't let Drew McIntyre take clean losses. So I was wondering, like, damn, how is Roman gonna get this dub? And then that shit happened. And so Jimmy and Jey Uso's little brother, Solo, I think they pronounce it Solo Siakam, or not Siakam, Solo Siakam, Solo Siakam. I don't remember how the fuck it is, but it's Solo Uso now. It's Us number 3. The third Us has made his way to the main roster. That shit was badass as fuck. Because for one, I knew Drew standing there looking at this motherfucker like, bro, I'm looking at a Jimmy and Jey Uso fucking clone. It's crazy that all 3 of these motherfuckers look just alike, bro. And the third one look like both of them. And both of them look alike, so how do the third one look like both of them? I can't explain none of the things that I'm saying right now, but what you have to understand, that it was a badass scene. Roman eventually hit the spear, he get the win. As they are walking out, Roman give him the little head nod, like, let's go. That shit was so bad. Can you imagine the third Us, the fourth technically, but the third Us on Friday Night SmackDowns? This fucking faction, they keep finding new ways to make this shit better, bro. It's like, how further can they take it further? Like Kobe told Kanye, more. I'm telling you, bro, this shit is crazy to me. How unbelievably great they are booking Roman Reigns, bro. I cannot remember the last time I seen somebody be booked this great in life, period. Like, I'm trying to think of the last person who had a run like this. And obviously there's some people out there who can name, but just let me hop back into wrestling. I don't remember the last wrestler who was built this great. I just, everything makes sense. Everything, they keep pushing forward. Like, it's no setbacks. This is unbelievable, bro. We thought it was a setback when Brock showed up that last time, and they gave us one of the greatest fucking SummerSlam matches I have ever seen in my lifetime. This motherfucker Roman Reigns is truly God in the flesh, bro. This dude, I remember Ric Flair walking around saying, I am a wrestling god. Bruh, Roman Reigns is the wrestling god in the flesh, bruh. This motherfucker is him. I always knew what they saw in him all those years back when they constantly was trying to make him the man. But I just never understood why they was going about it the way they was. And I was always saying to myself, like, how is it that only a face can be the face of this company? Because Roman is not a good face. Look at this motherfucker now, bruh. This is what they saw. And there's people out there who was like, oh, Triple H done took over, so now he finna give Roman losses, because there's no way he finna let Vince McMahon keep this shit going. Bruh, I don't understand why people think only Vince McMahon wanted this Roman Reigns shit to happen. Triple H is not a dumbass. Triple H understands a dominant champion as much as anybody. He understands what Roman Reigns is doing for this company. He understands what having a champion who you know can show up and be the champion every time we do a show. He gonna be that guy. He gonna put on a big time main event for us every fucking time without fail. That means something. That's why Roman is who he is. And that is why he is a god in the flesh. The tribal chief. The WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. And still, I can't wait till Friday Night SmackDown though, bro, to see all 3 of the Usos together. Sammy can go now. I've been very invested in the Sami Zayn storyline. I'm gonna just tell you right now, I'm over it because Solo here. I'm not even gonna lie. Don't care about the Sami Zayn storyline now that Solo there. Now maybe they find a way to like keep that interesting, but I ain't gonna lie. I'm more invested in Solo being with his Usos now. So, hey, I think this was a phenomenal show. You got to go and check it out. To me, it was a 10 out of 10. I enjoyed every single second of this show. Samantha Irvin, once again, doing an unfucking believable job in announcing. To go off the air with her, well, the show went off the air with Tyson Fury singing to Drew McIntyre, so that shit was weird. But Samantha Irvin closing out the last match of the night with basically not chanting, but announcing Roman Reigns as the winner. Goosebumps. She is unfucking believable at her job. That is why she was announcing everybody tonight. They did not have Buddy who be on Raw because he is nowhere near as good as Samantha Irvin. And you know, that's a competition that's going on right now that don't nobody really speak of, bruh. Buddy on NXT and Buddy on Raw getting smoked by Samantha Irvin as far as announcing. I know it's going to be people out there, oh man, he only saying that because she look good. Bro, she is with Ricochet. The chances of me meeting Samantha Irvin anytime soon and being in a relationship with Samantha Irvin is so astronomically low at this point. Like, stop it. Just go check out the talent, bro. Samantha Irvin, I done said it. I think she better than Lillian Garcia. So either I think Lillian ugly, or you just confuse it. The fact now you just confused because it's like, oh wait a minute, Lillian look good too. So wait a minute, he just said, yeah. I think Samantha Irvin, to me, is Bruce Buffer, Samantha Irvin. Like the way, and it's so crazy because I just realized it one day hearing her. Now I'm like, who the fuck is announcing these people? Like, I'm like, whoever this woman is that's announcing these people, she fucking killing it. And just legendary right now. I truly believe she's going to become the greatest ring announcer of all time. I hope they eventually start putting her into some stories or getting her name out there more, making her more of a part of the show, because she is such a big part of the show already. But it would be nice to see her have some personality. Like I saw when Seth was coming out, Michael Irvin talked about something that Samantha used to do before she became a ring announcer. And he was like, Seth Rollins must have went in her closet for that. So continuing to give Samantha Irvin roles. Now she called herself the Sam. I'm not making that shit up. She told me on Twitter. I actually had this interaction with her. Sometimes she responded to me when I'm being a goofball on Friday Night SmackDowns. I think she realized that I am a in-character heel for her and Ricochet. I think she realized that. I hope she do. I'm glad she do if she do. I appreciate the interactions. I really do. I'm not one of them simp motherfuckers who looking for interactions just because Sam looks so good. No. I really like that I'm doing a show, and one day I'm going to be big, and I'm going to talk about the fact that Samantha Irvin responded to me while I was doing this shit and making my time on here funner because she did respond and it gave me something else to talk about. Because, she don't have to respond. But I do wish that they would give her a bigger role because of how unbelievably great she already is. You know what I'm saying? And I see Ricochet over there he gonna get his ass whooped by Mello, Samantha. I just want you to know that too. One day you're gonna hear this because I'm gonna be big. I already know this. I'm gonna play it for you one day when I'm big, bro. Because I'm gonna be, bro, I'm telling you, when I'm involved with the WWE, I'm feuding with Ricochet, bro. He won't be dating Samantha by that point in time though, because he not that guy. But I really don't. I hope them nothing but success and happiness in the future, though. That's me big. I'm out of character right now. I don't hope that they break up or nothing like that, bro. I wish them nothing but happiness. Back in my character, though, fuck them. I hope y'all have a great day. I appreciate y'all for joining me, man, on this long episode of Wrestling with Saint. Because, the wrestling breakdowns when we doing the reviews of the, we got to go for a long time. But I appreciate y'all for joining me. Go check out Clash at the Castle. It was a phenomenal pay-per-view. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be whack or like a house show type thing. It was not. This was amazing. Every match was a banger in my opinion. Liv killed it. Roman killed it as per usual. God in the flesh. Bianca, Bailey, Io, Dakota, Solo. Name it. I'm trying to remember everybody that was on the show, so I don't want to forget nobody. But just everybody who had anything to do with the show absolutely killed it. Michael Cole. Hey, Dude gave a hilarious bar tonight. Corey Graves, when Seth Rollins was going for Randy Orton's vintage Randy Orton move. My man Corey Graves out of nowhere, he said, "Oh yeah," he said Rollins in his what they be saying for Orton? Oh yeah, you know how they be like Orton going to that place. This dude Corey Graves like Seth going to that familiar place. I'm like, yo, this dude Corey Graves just gets it, bro. He don't get talked about a lot because I know we all obsess over Pat, as rightfully so. Pat is phenomenal. I don't want people to forget how unbelievably great Corey Graves is. Corey Graves is a phenomenal ring announcer who does not have much to work with on Monday night, considering the dude that they have in the middle, I can't remember his name at the moment, just not that great as far as the energy that he brings. And I love Byron Saxton, but he can be hit or miss a lot. The one person who usually is not hit or miss is Corey Graves. He usually got a lot of hits. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with him. Tell somebody you love him. Go out there, try to make somebody's day dope, or give my Dukes a kiss on the forehead and a hug for me. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, you know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber, you out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.